Pilots across the industry have been warning about safety issues due to excessive flying schedules, but now one pilot is issuing a new safety warning due to what he says is a potential connection between a serious health incident that happened to a pilot named Robert Snow and the COVID vaccination. In a statement, he says, quote, "This near miss is a direct result of the Federal Aviation Administration overlooking their own safety regulations for brazenly political purposes relating to the dangerous COVID-19 vaccine mandate policies many airlines have enacted in coordination with the FAA." Josh Yoder, a Freedom Flight pilot who also traveled with the People's Trucker Convoy, joins us now. Welcome, Josh. Josh, you sent me this in, and this is very, very scary to me. You say that there's a a captain named Robert Snow. Explain what happened, what you say happened to this guy.
So Robert Snow, on April 9th, he was flying American Airlines 1067 from Denver to Dallas-Fort Worth. 6 minutes after touchdown, just while blocking in at the gate, right after blocking in at the gate, he went into cardiac arrest right after the first officer had left the flight deck. He was actually noticed by a deplaning passenger who noticed him up there. Unfortunately, there were medical staff on the aircraft, including a nurse and a Navy corpsman. They pulled him out onto the jet bridge, performed CPR. They shocked him 3 times with an AED. Unfortunately, we were able to bring him back to life. He woke up approximately 24 hours later in Baylor Scott and White Hospital here in Dallas, Texas, 10 minutes from American Airlines headquarters. And this is directly attributed to the vaccine. We have cardiologist Dr. Peter McCullough, Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Long, Lieutenant Colonel Pete Chambers, both senior flight surgeons in the Army, who were brought in to consult, as well as a full legal team to look into this. And what we're doing right now is putting him through a series of medical tests of proving the linkage between the J&J shot and the cardiac arrest that happened on April 9th.
Interesting. Big accusation there, Josh. I'm sure the airline is going to hear this and have a real issue and want to investigate. Well, before we do that, let's take a listen to that pilot, Robert Snow, explaining what happened to him.
My name is Bob Snow. I'm a captain, and for a number of years, my total service with the company is over 31 years. On November 7th, I was mandated to receive a vaccine. Quite literally, I was told if I did not receive the vaccination, I would be fired. This was from our director of flight. So, under duress, I received the vaccine. Now, just a few days ago, after landing in Dallas, 6 minutes after we landed, I passed out. I coded. I required 3 shocks. I need to be intubated. I'm now in the ICU in Dallas. I will probably never fly again.
Wow. So, Josh, tell us now. There are doctors who believe that his incident, as he just landed the airplane, has to do with an aftermath of a COVID vaccination. I had mine. I had momentary, maybe a 24-hour issue with it, but I was fine after that. What makes all of you think that this has a direct result of the vaccine?
Well, let me just tell you what else I'm hearing, Eric. For months now, I've been getting calls from pilots, U.S. Freedom Flyers, who are telling me that after their COVID-19 vaccines, they've been having cardiac issues, chest pain. Many of them are flying with chest pain. They're afraid to come forward because pilots are de-incentivized for coming forward. If you lose your flight medical, your career is effectively over. Just yesterday, after Robert Snow came out publicly with this video, I received 4 calls yesterday, and the legal team will attest to this. Pilots are scared. They're terrified to come forward for fear of losing their careers. And I can tell you that the FAA and the airlines, they've been warned back in December through a letter that was sent to the FAA, signed off by Peter McCullough, world's top cardiologist, and he's warned of this. And I'm certainly hearing about it. U.S. Freedom Flyers, it's happened to Captain Snow. Many of these people, their symptoms started very soon after vaccination, and they have ended up, you see now Captain Snow, it ended in cardiac arrest for him. Then you look at the DMED data that was put out by Army whistleblower Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Long, senior flight surgeon. The DMED data makes a very strong case that when the post-vaccination in the military has caused just a myriad of medical issues. You see things like 300% increase in myocarditis and pericarditis, 1,135% increase in neurological conditions now being noticed in military personnel and pilots.
What would have happened if this incident to Captain Snow or the pilot Snow 20 minutes earlier?
20 minutes earlier, they would have probably been at an altitude where they could have recovered. Where this is most dangerous, let's say it happens at 200 feet on landing or on takeoff. where a pilot slumps forward over the controls, and starts that aircraft in a downward trajectory that's then unrecoverable because you're too low to the ground when it happens. It's anyone's guess. The FAA and the airlines, they're counting on pilot redundancy. The fact that we have two pilots in the flight deck, I think they're hoping against hope that a fatal accident doesn't occur. But this is the law of averages. You keep pushing your luck. At some point, we're going to have a major incident, and I can tell you that the FAA and the airlines cannot say that they've not been warned. And also, most importantly, the very unions that are tasked with representing us against the airlines and the government, they've not done their job. They've jumped on board with the U.S. government and the airlines, and they're completely complicit in this.
Josh, I got to go. You're a pilot. You work for an airline. Are you concerned by coming forward that you may lose your job?
I've been coming forward for a long time, and I can tell you there's no threat that they can give me for loss of employment. I have so many pilots contacting me for help. The number one thing that I'm concerned about is the safety of the flying public and helping the pilots that are coming forward to me. We've established a medical team that's actually consulting with many of these pilots right now. And all we want at U.S. Freedom Flyers is to find a solution to ensure that we ensure safety for both the employees and the flying public.
I'll tell you what, I'm a very frequent flyer, a couple of times a week, and I certainly want my pilots all there and fully healthy when they're taking off and landing these planes. Josh Yoder, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Eric.
All right, coming up at the half.